Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Carrolet Thomas, and welcome to my channel. Thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Please like the video, share it with someone else, and leave a comment if you so choose. Always check the description box under each video for scripture references, relevant music or applicable songs, for ways to donate and show support, and for more information. Today's message is Respect the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Recently, I watched the biographical movie Respect about the life of Aretha Franklin. I thought it was a good film. Now, if you don't know who Aretha Franklin was, she is the Queen of Soul. For the benefit of someone that may not know who I am talking about, let me tell you a bit about her. Per Google AI overview, Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, was a legendary American singer, songwriter, and civil rights activist whose powerful voice blended gospel, R&B, and soul to create iconic hits like Respect, Chain of Fools, and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Rising from church choir roots, she became a musical icon in the 1960s, the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987, and a symbol of empowerment and Black cultural pride, leaving an indelible mark on music and social justice. Early life and gospel roots. Born March 25th, 1942, in Memphis, Tennessee, into a musical family. Her father was a prominent Baptist minister. Began singing gospel in her father's New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit, developing her unparalleled vocal talent. Rise to stardom. Signed with Columbia Records in 1960, then moved to Atlantic Records in 1967, where her career exploded. Her breakthrough with I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You launched her into superstardom, defining the soul sound of the era. Musical impact and style. Known for her rich tone, extensive range, and ability to shift from soft to powerful with effortless emotion, drawing from her gospel background. Revolutionized popular music with her unique phrasing, rhythmic variations, and deep musical intelligence. Key achievements and legacy. Queen of Soul, a title earned for her unparalleled vocal mastery. Awards: 18 Grammy Awards, Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, National Medal of Arts, Presidential Medal of Freedom, Kennedy Center Honors. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, first woman inducted in 1987. Civil rights activist, used her platform to support Black civil rights and women's rights, often funding activist groups and performing at benefits. Iconic songs: Respect, Chain of Fools, Think, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, I Say a Little Prayer, and Freeway of Love. Aretha Franklin's legacy endures as a symbol of empowerment, artistry, and social change, inspiring generations of musicians and activists. What made Aretha Franklin so special? Aretha Franklin's talents came together through her unique phrasing, her rhythmic variations, her dynamics, and her unparalleled tone, all drawn from her African American gospel roots. It was she who brought the melisma, singing a series of notes over a single syllable, into popular music. Now, about the movie Respect. Per Google AI overview, Respect is a 2021 biopic starring Jennifer Hudson as Aretha Franklin, chronicling the Queen of Soul's life from her childhood in Detroit through her arduous journey to international superstardom, focusing on her abusive relationships, alcoholism, and profound connection to gospel music, culminating with the recording of her iconic Amazing Grace album. Directed by Lizelle Tommy, the film explores her struggle for autonomy against controlling men, including her minister father, played by Forrest Whitaker, and first husband, played by Marlon Wayans, as she finds her voice and place in the turbulent 1960s. Key aspects of the film: central performance. Jennifer Hudson delivers a powerful portrayal of Franklin, embodying her spirit and vocal talent, with many critics highlighting the musical performances as the film's strength. Story arc. It covers her early life, losing her mother, teenage pregnancies, formative years in the church, early recording struggles at Columbia Records, and her breakthrough with Atlantic Records. Themes. The movie delves into Franklin's fight for self-determination, overcoming trauma, and her deep-rooted faith, with her mother's memory and church music serving as anchors. Supporting cast features Forrest Whitaker as her father, Audra McDonald as her mother, Marlon Wayans as Ted White, Mary J. Blige, Titus Burgess, and Mark Maron. Conclusion. The film ends with the recording of her groundbreaking live gospel album, Amazing Grace, and includes actual footage of Franklin at the Kennedy Center Honors. Yes, the movie Respect in 2021 is a biographical musical drama based on the true story of Aretha Franklin's life, chronicling her journey from childhood gospel singer to international music icon and civil rights figure, up to her influential Amazing Grace album in 1972, though some details are dramatized for cinematic effect. It covers her rise, struggles with an abusive marriage, and finding her voice, starring Jennifer Hudson as Franklin. Key aspects of the true story depicted. Early life shows her beginnings singing in her father's church choir in Detroit. Father's influence portrays her father, C.L. Franklin, played by Forrest Whitaker, as a famous minister and a significant, albeit complex, figure. Career trajectory follows her arduous path to stardom, from early record deals to becoming the Queen of Soul. Personal struggles addresses themes of domestic abuse and finding her power. Musical recreations focuses heavily on recreating her iconic music and performances, where it takes creative liberties. Nickname Ree. The film heavily uses Ree, but family members say she was mostly called Aretha, and the Ree 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 backup vocal hook was likely just a catchy riff on Respect, not a direct nickname tribute. Specific incidents. Some events, like an outburst from Dinah Washington, are dramatized or based on real incidents but altered for narrative impact. Omissions. The film omits certain aspects of Franklin's early life, such as the full complexities of her pregnancies and her parents' more private lifestyles. In essence, Respect is a largely true-to-life biopic that uses cinematic techniques to tell Aretha Franklin's foundational story, focusing on key moments and struggles. Aretha Franklin was a well-respected singer and songwriter. Per Google AI overview, yes, Aretha Franklin was exceptionally well respected, considered a musical legend, and the Queen of Soul, recognized for her unparalleled voice, profound cultural impact on civil rights and feminism, and numerous accolades, including being the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Her influence extended across genres, earning her 18 Grammy Awards, a Presidential Medal of Freedom, and rankings as the greatest singer of all time by Rolling Stone magazine. Reasons for her immense respect. Vocal prowess. She possessed a four-octave range and a unique ability to convey deep emotion, mastering gospel, soul, R&B, and pop. Cultural icon. Songs like Respect became anthems for the civil rights and feminist movements, and she actively supported these causes. Historical milestones. She was the first female artist inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987 and performed at 3 U.S. presidential inaugurations. Critical acclaim. Rolling Stone named her the greatest singer of all time, and she won 18 Grammy Awards. Musical influence. Her innovative use of gospel-infused soul pushed musical boundaries and set a standard for vocalists across genres. Professionalism and dignity. Producers respected her musical knowledge, and she commanded respect by negotiating firmly for her worth, even as a diva. A few things that stood out to me in the movie Respect were these statements and lessons. 1. Aretha is told by her mother, "Nobody owns your voice but God. Never fear any man. You are so worthy. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." 2. James Cleveland tells Aretha, "Don't let nothing come between you and your music. Music will save your life." James also said, "The spirit is the spirit. It moves when it moves." Number 3, Aretha Franklin's girlfriend tells her, "Do your thing and do it as big, as loud, as long as you can." And number 4, Aretha Franklin's father eventually tells her that she can do anything. For those of you that may not know, Aretha Franklin's hit song, Respect, was written by Otis Redding. He was also the first person to sing and release it. Having watched this movie Respect and knowing that Aretha Franklin was well respected, it got me to thinking about people, both men and women, that were well respected in the Bible. Let's look at a few. Who in the Bible was well respected? Per Google AI overview, many figures in the Bible were highly respected for their faith, wisdom, and actions, including Moses, who was considered the greatest prophet, lawgiver, Abraham, who's called the father of faith, Daniel, for courage in exile and integrity, Elijah, powerful prophet, social justice, Esther, courageous queen that saved her people, and Gamaliel, respected teacher of the law. Even imperfect figures like Peter, despite his denial, were foundational to the early church and deeply respected. Old Testament figures. Abraham, honored as the father of faith for his obedience and belief in God's promises. Moses, a towering figure, greatest prophet, who spoke with God and led Israel out of Egypt, respected for his willingness to obey despite flaws. Daniel, respected for his unwavering faith in God, even facing lions, and for serving kings with integrity. Elijah, known for confronting idolatry, promoting social justice, and standing for pure worship. Esther, a courageous queen who used her influence to save the Jewish people from genocide. New Testament figures. Gamaliel, a respected Pharisee and teacher of the law who advised the Sanhedrin to be cautious with the early Christians. Peter, though he denied Jesus, he became a central figure, the rock of the church, and a missionary spreading Christianity. Paul, highly respected for his missionary work, teaching, and showing respect even to enemies, though controversial at times. Other notable figures: Joseph, respected for his integrity and wisdom in Egypt. Noah, honored as a hero of faith for his obedience in building the ark. Do you notice that Jesus was not listed? Let's see why. Per Google AI overview, Jesus wasn't well respected by many in his time because he challenged religious leaders, broke social norms by associating with sinners, made radical claims about his divine identity, and demanded deep personal transformation that threatened people's comfortable lives, leading religious elites to see him as blasphemous and political figures to view him as seditious, resulting in his crucifixion. Key reasons for disrespect: challenged religious authority. He rebuked the Pharisees and scribes for hypocrisy, accusing them of focusing on rules over mercy, which threatened their power. Associated with outcasts. His willingness to eat with sinners, tax collectors, and the unclean went against social customs and angered the religious establishment. Blasphemous claims. His claims of authority and divinity, including equating himself with God, were seen as blasphemy by Jewish leaders. Threatened the status quo. He exposed self-righteousness, encouraged radical change, and emphasized spiritual values over material gain, making many uncomfortable. Misunderstood messianic expectations. Many expected a political warrior king, but Jesus presented a different path, leading to disappointment and rejection as a failed Messiah. Perceived as insane or demonic. Some contemporaries thought he was delusional or possessed by demons due to his radical teachings and actions. How this manifested: religious opposition. Jewish leaders sought to discredit and ultimately condemn him for blasphemy. Political execution. Roman authorities executed him as a perceived political threat. Sedition. Crowd rejection. Even some who initially followed him turned against him, calling for his crucifixion. In essence, Jesus' message and lifestyle directly confronted the established religious and social order, making him deeply unpopular with those in power and many ordinary people who didn't want to change. And we must remember that the Bible says in Matthew chapter 13, verse 57, and they were offended in him. But Jesus said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. Per Google AI overview, a prophet is without honor, or not without honor except in his own country, is a saying from the Bible in Matthew chapter 13, verse 57, and Mark chapter 6, verse 4, meaning people often dismiss or disrespect those they know well, like a hometown prophet, despite their divine message or authority, because familiarity breeds contempt and makes it hard to see their true worth. It highlights how local jealousy or overfamiliarity can prevent recognition, even for someone like Jesus, who faced disbelief in his own town. Meaning and origin, biblical roots. Jesus said this when his own people in Nazareth rejected his teachings and miracles because they knew him as a carpenter's son, not a divine messenger. Core idea. The phrase points to the irony that individuals with great insight or power are often least appreciated by those closest to them. Modern usage. The saying is used proverbially to describe how respected figures like scientists, artists, or leaders can be overlooked or scorned by their own community, even while being celebrated elsewhere. Key takeaway: familiarity breeds contempt. The saying captures the human tendency to undervalue what is familiar, making it difficult to accept extraordinary claims from ordinary people. It is a sad but true fact that many times people are ignored, disregarded, and or disrespected by those that know them because they know them. It is the casualty of being too familiar. Well, we must learn that if we want to be respected, we must be respectful and show respect for ourselves and others. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. And as the old saying goes, I can show you better than I can tell you. Respect God and respect yourself by obeying God without debate and without delay. I hope and pray that this message has been a blessing to you. As always, I look forward to meeting you here when God directs with the messages that He wants me to bring to you. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for listening and supporting my YouTube channel. God bless you and just be happy.